everyone, how you all doing? Welcome back to a new lesson. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make this trendy triangular bubu top, and trust me, it is very easy to make. Here I have 2 yards of fabric. It's silk, so you can make use of crepe, whatever you have. And if you're a medium-sized person, you can use 1.5, but a plus size like me, ensure you use 2 yards of fabric, please. So now, how do we fold? Here, I'm just going to fold like we fold for a half circle. So this is it. This is 2 yards of fabric here. So just fold it equally this way. Can you see? So once it's folded this way, so I'm just going to come over to the end here and then fold it this way. So you have it folded for both the front and the back. So you can now give it a good press and adjust it and pin it down. So this is what you will have. Now after folding and pinning, this is what I have. So everything is this way. So these folded parts, which is longer, is going to be the folded point, and this will be where the shoulder and the sleeve area will be. But because this fabric is busy, so you can see where it stopped, because it is busy, I will just use a paper to demonstrate. I folded a paper, so I just folded it in a bias form just to explain. So what you are just simply going to do for the neckline is this. Because you see this fabric we are working with, no matter how much you come down to curve it or whatever, by the time it comes on your body, everything becomes straight at the upper part and it just falls. Yes, that is silk and satin for you. But for crepe, it could still take that curvy shape. That's just what I want you to know. Now, what you have to do is this. Just impute your neckline. Look for where you will get your exact neckline. How do you now get the neckline you use? When you are working with this silk or satin, for a small size person, you can use 6 inches. For a medium size person, 6.5 or 7, okay? And then for a plus size, 7.5 or 8, especially for people that has broad shoulder like mine, okay? Take note of that. It is better if your neckline is small, you can always fold back to cut it out, rather than having it bigger. Trust me, these fabrics, because you are cutting out on bias, so by the time you open it up, it has every tendency on becoming wider. Please note that. So when you are asked to do 8, why not do 7.5? So if it is not enough, you can always trim it off, okay? We are making use of crepe. Crepe still stays and form the curved shape. So you can add extra 1/2 inch to whatever measurement I have mentioned. Now, this is the paper. How do you go about it? First, if you are making use of crepe, all you have to do is just locate a straight part that will serve as the shoulder. So this is the folded part. So this is the straight line facing you. You can just mark a point at maybe 8 or just get 7 inches. That's better. So this 7 inches, so with my ruler, I will mark that. So for crepe, okay? So once you do that, you can now come down by 1 inch, okay? Then you can just curve it out. And I'll just make a curve. Make sure you make the curve in such a way that you won't have a V here. Then the next thing is for you to measure. Please measure, because if there's a mistake and it's too wide, that's all. So here I have 8 inches, which is exactly what I wanted. So by the time I cut it up, I still take 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch by the side to sew it up. And by the time you take 1/4 inch for the neckline with the biased taping, it's still going to be a bit wider. So don't make it too wide. So for crepe, this is how you go about it, because they still take the form of this curve. I just hope my chalk shows. So 8 inches this place. I will just mark this point and this point and then curve it out. So you can still use the same method I explained on the paper, as long as you have the measurement of what you want. So after marking it, again, I would have to confirm, please. So here now, I haven't marked it, I have 8.5. Can you see it is more? So I have to make sure. That's the problem with this kind of fabric. They keep moving, okay? So I will now have to adjust again till I get 8 inches. So I'm moving upward here and then redraw. So I've reduced this, then I'll check again. So here I have 8 inches. So I will even advise you to do 7.5 if you are working with this material, okay? But since I've gotten what I want, then I can cut it out. And then the selvage here is so wide, so I'll be taking up to 1 inch seam allowance. The selvage is so wide. So this is what we have. So the next thing now is to now work on the length and the sleeve opening. Let me pull it up. I haven't pulled it up. I'll have to pin this place because I don't want it to move. So I'm working with a lot of pin. Okay? Or pins. Good. So the next thing we want to do now is the sleeve opening. Now we have taken 8 inches to be the neckline, okay? So you just take your measurement from the back of your neck, the bone at the back, to wherever you want it to stop on your arm. But on the average, 20 inches is fine, between 18 and 20. So we've taken off 8 inches. Just start from that 8 inches and mark 20 inches, which is at this point. So whatever you want. So 20 inches is at this point, okay? Then for your sleeve opening, if you are a small size, 6 inches is fine. Medium size, 7, plus size, 7.5, okay? I'm now going to add the additional 7.5 to it, or 7. Okay, between 6 and 7. So you mark that point. So this is the sleeve opening. So you are sewing from the hem here, because this now serves as the tip of the shoulder straight to this point, and this will be the sleeve opening. Now let us talk about the length of the top. Here, take your measuring tape and start from here. Then you measure 34, 35. For me, I want it to be long. Okay, I'm sure this is not showing, so I will still have to move it. I want my own to be long. I love my top to be very long. But when you see it on me, then you can decide how short or long you want yours to be. But don't do less than 32, okay, because of that V in front. So, but for me, I'll be doing about 35 inches. That's what I want. So I will mark 35. So I have to adjust the camera again. So this is where my 35 inches is, but yours could be 32, depending on your preference. So the next thing we want to do is now to connect from this point to the end of the sleeve opening. Then you connect from here down here. So I'll try to mark the chalk. You might be wondering, why did I use a whole 2 yards? The reason is, if you fold the 2 yards, you have more volume, because this is a bubu top, and if you look at the thumbnail, you could still see some cow formation by the sides. So that is why it is advisable for a small size, use 1.5, but a plus size, make sure you use 2 yards of fabric, okay? So I'm just going to make the line. So now I can remove this off. Let me remove the pins. So see what this is, what the top now looks like. Now, before we finish the sleeve opening part, now you just start from the beginning. Your hip measurement, your vertical hip measurement for me is usually 24 or 25. But you don't want the opening to stop at your hip. It should be above your hip, staying on your hip, okay? So you can just do about 20 to 21 inches. So you measure that down here. So 20 inches is fine. Good. Then at that point, you check what you have. Is it enough for your hip? Which is okay. I have 12 inches, which is perfect. So that means I will stop my sewing at this point, so you can notch that part. So that is where the opening of the V will start from. Good. So that is where the sewing is going to stop. The last thing we want to do is this. we are sewing from here down to here, so the sleeve opening is here. But if you're just sew it straight, you would have like a V effect coming out, which you don't want. So how do you eliminate that? Take your ruler, position your ruler this way, and this is going off. So I can just mark that so that you can see. So I've cut this off so you can see that. So that is going off. So the last thing we are just going to do before we start sewing is, you see how this tip, because you are working with a fabric on bias, just go in here at about 1 inch or 3/4 of an inch here, and then you just form a curve. I don't know if you can see that, but you will see how I will cut it. Then you blend it here and then back out here. So remove the pin at that point and look at how I will cut it. So you can see how that forms. It helps you not having a gaping neckline. And trust me, we are done. So let me notch this sleeve opening. So this is where the opening will start from. Good. So now we can open the outfit and see what we have done. This is the neckline. So make sure your fabric is right side facing right side. So let's assume this is the wrong side. Just start sewing from here. So you should sew up the shoulder before the biased fixing, because it will help it not to gape. So I'm going to take in 3/4 or whatever seam allowance from the beginning straight to the sleeve opening here, okay? And then I will skip and start sewing from here straight to the notch of the opening I have here. So that is where the V will be. So I'll do the same thing here. Sew it and stop at the sleeve opening, start sewing from here again and stop at the notch at the hip, above the hip area. I have sewn from the neckline straight to the sleeve opening. So I stop at that point, then skip the sleeve opening, then start sewing from here to stop at above the hip, so as to have the V this way. Can you see? So I'm going to turn to the right side for us to finish all the raw edges. Fine. So what I did is to cut out some bias strip. So I folded on bias to cut this strip out. So when you just pull it, it stretches. So what you would do now is this. I want to finish this neckline on the outside, just as the thumbnail. So what I will do now is to start sewing from the wrong side. So right side will be facing the wrong side. Then I will now finish the bias strip on the outside. So I will do the same thing to this sleeve opening too, and then for these V parts I can just fold in 1/4, then 1/4 of an inch straight down all through. I'm at the sewing machine and looking at the fabric. This is the wrong side, and I place the bias strip on the wrong side and then sew it all around. So I'm just going to turn it to the right side. This is it on the right side. All I have to do is to now bring out the bias strip from the wrong side, fold it in, 1/4, and then fold over. So to finish it on the right side. So that's how I'm going to finish it off. The bubu top is ready, and you can see how beautiful it looks. Everything is well ironed and neatly sewn. I made sure I overlock all the raw edges. You can see that. So what I will do now is to just put it on for you to see how it looks on me. The triangular bubu top is ready, and you can see how beautiful it looks like. Yes. Yeah. Right from the neckline, the sleeve opening, and the cowl formation, everything is on point. Yeah. Then you can actually make this into a two-piece, having a short underneath or a trouser, depending on your preference. I'm going to turn the back for you to see how it looks too. And please don't forget to share this video, like, and subscribe if you are not. So let me turn the back. So this is the back. You can see how beautiful it looks. So guys, I have to go. I remain your girl Bilikis. Bye guys.